Hi, I'm Rick. This is my 1978 Yamaha XS750 Special. That I'm going to make a video of this today. This is one of my favorite motorcycles of all time, and I've owned quite a few. And I'm real happy to show you this one today, and we'll start it up and let you hear it run. I saw this edition of Cycle Guide in August of '78. It has this bike on the cover, and I really liked it. So I went down and bought one. This bike is called a Special because it's a this is the first year of the 750 Specials, and they were a kind of a customized version of a more street type bike called a Standard. This is the 750 Special. What was unique about this bike at the time, it's a 3-cylinder inline engine, dual overhead cam, air cooled, 2 valves per cylinder. The bike has triple disc brakes, 2 discs on the front, and 1 on the rear. This bike is completely stock except with the addition of the rear rack, and I changed those pullback handlebars that the bike came with to sort of a mid-60s Triumph bend. It puts your weight forward more, and it's a much more comfortable riding position, and it's transformed the motorcycle from something that you had to kind of hang on to with the pullback bars. This one you kind of hold on to it and you lean into it. Quite a difference. It's shaft drive. There's no maintenance whatsoever. Because of that, the wheels stay real clean, and it's an easy bike to keep clean. Now, this particular one I got on eBay, and the guy lived real close to me in Reno, and he advertised it as a clean bike, but the engine was seized. What happens on these bikes and many bikes of this era is the fuel petcocks are vacuum actuated, and the problem with that is actually for a while the rubber in the diaphragms inside the vacuum petcock go bad, and they allow fuel to go right into the carburetors, and that goes right into the engine, and that goes right into the crankcase. And if you don't know that that can happen on these bikes, and most people don't, when you start it up, you've got oil that's diluted by gasoline by quite a bit. It's called gas oil. It's a real problem with these bikes, not just Yamahas, but any bike of this era that has a vacuum petcock. I've converted these to manual petcocks, which is the mandatory change on this bike, and that's really just about it. It's a fast bike. I'm pretty sure it'll do at least 110. It's got a close ratio gearbox, which gives it a real quick acceleration, especially in the 0 to 70 mile an hour range. Gets great gas mileage, always 45 to 50 miles to the gallon. You almost have to try not to get 50 miles to the gallon on this bike. What I've done to this one is I had to completely go through the motor and change the crankshaft, the rods, all the bearings and the seals because it was seized up with good components, and just rebuilt it completely right back to stock, and it has run beautifully for about 16,000 miles I've got on this in the last 5 years. I did the work on it about 6 years ago. Did a paint job on it. It's basically the same exact color, kind of a black with a gold fleck. No real changes. What a great bike. Okay, well, I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod, and on these bikes it has a starting circuit. This lever right here is not a choke. It's 3 position. This is pulled all the way out, that's full on. There's a halfway and then back to off. It's tricky to get these bikes to run well, and for the starter mechanism on the carburetors to work correctly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the fuel and let it fill the carburetors a little bit. I'm going to pull this all the way out. I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod, but all I'm going to do, I'm not going to hit the throttle at all. I'm just going to touch the starter, and it should start right up and high idle on that full enrichment position. You want to let it run like that for about a minute or two. It'll start running rich, and you can go to the central position next. These carburetors are the stock Mikuni Mark IIs. They're the best carburetors for these 3-cylinder engines, but they're a little tricky to get to work correctly. Now that's on position 2, or I mean the center position, and it's running quite a bit smoothly now. Now I haven't touched the throttle at all yet. That's how these bikes should start and warm up. Okay, there it is, an idling smooth about 1,000 RPM. Okay, well there you have it. That's my 78 Yamaha XS750SE Special. Really love that bike.